this can't stick. So let's put something else there. Hey fans! All 17 million of you. Right? Doesn't have to be cricket. It'll have to be cricket. That's okay, right? We are 1 minute, 44 seconds to air. We are fixing to have ourselves a show. Soul Sanctuary. Hey y'all. Whoever's up this early. Are you up this early? Good morning. I'm going to read on camera, which is just a bad idea. But I hope you're up and bright and have your coffee. You're ready. We're about 1 minute from airtime. If you haven't gone to kzsm.org yet, go to kzsm.org. I'll be live in exactly 1 minute. So yay. I've been up since 5, I think. Already I've had brisket and cheese this morning. Keto! So hopefully you're up and I'm not too loud so that you can join me and watch and listen. Let me know if can you hear me okay? And if you're in here, say hey so I can see you. Hi. I'm going to leave this up, I think, for the first segment of the show, and then maybe I'll turn it off, second segment, and turn it back on at the end. We are seconds away from being live. We're at kzsm.org. True Community Radio. Oh, it's gonna go. It's getting ready to go down, y'all. Here it goes. Good morning, Soul Sanctuary soldiers. I'm so proud of everybody who got up and got themselves over to kzsm.org to listen to the show live. Good morning, Katie. She's watching me live on my feed. That's on my actual Facebook page. I will be sure to share the video to the Soul Sanctuary MMF page as well. So if you want to have a visual of this bright, bubbly, raspy voice, you'll be able to check that out on Soul Sanctuary MMF on Facebook as soon as I get a minute to put it up there, which will probably be sometime this morning. I'm so glad to be back with you guys. I missed you for the last 2 weeks. I was in the Northeast most of that time, actually, and I just got back Wednesday. So I'm happy to be back and happy to be back on my show and glad you guys can join me. I hope that you are having a fantastic November. We're almost at the end of it. So after this, guys, there's 1 more month left of this decade and this year and this whatever you want to call it, whatever benefit you're getting from being alive in this moment. I hope that you recognize it's a choice. Just like anger is a choice, just like growth is a choice, just like family is a choice, just like living is a choice. Because all you have to do is exist. But we are going to decide to live now. That thriving stuff, or that just existing stuff was so 2018. We're going into 2020 flying high with our wings spread as wide as they can, with our voice as loud as we can get it. Because that's what matters. Standing in your truth and in your power and all that stuff. Okay, so let's talk about what today is. And then we're going to get into some talk about self-care. We're going to get into some talk about family. And if I have time, we're going to talk about everybody else. So I have self, family, and then everybody else. And there's a couple of different aspects of that we're going to look at today. So let's start with the idea of self. No, today, and then we'll get into self. So today, numerologically, is 10. So 10 in tarot is the card of fortune. This is a lucky day. How cool is that? So if you play lottery, or if you gamble, or if you do other stuff, that other games of chance, today's a good day for it. And only you who are listening to me know that. So you go out and you play your numbers, or you do your roulette wheel, or whatever people do, and get your luck on today. Today's card is Fortune, which is all about good fortune, good outcomes. Take the risk, leap, make the jump. Today's the day to do it. So, in addition to it being the Fortune card, and if you want to look at the card I'm looking at, it is called Fortune, and the deck I use is called the Thoth deck. And so if you go into Bing and put in Thoth 10 Major Arcana, you'll find a picture of it. It's a purplish card. Again, if you're looking at me on Facebook, make sure you go to kzsm.org so you can listen to this live. That way you can carry me around to the bathroom and to get your coffee and everything. Everybody has their coffee, right? If you're looking at me online, let me know if you have your coffee yet. It's so important. We want to start off this day with as much energy as we can have. Because we're about to go into that week where we have that big dinner with a bunch of our family, and there's all kinds of masks, and there's all kinds of past that comes up that's really challenging. This is about to be a tougher part of the year. So let's fortify ourselves with some self-care before we get there. Before I get into self-care, I do want to say happy birthday to all of the Sagittarius. Today we enter Sagittarius. And a Sagittarius is a fiery sign. That's the one that looks like a centaur. It's half horse and half person. Isn't that called a centaur? Centaur? I think it's a centaur. I'm sure my husband will text me and tell me the right pronunciation. He's fantastic at that. But it's a fire sign, and the symbol is the archer. So they're all about taking aim, right? The focus that it takes to have a good aim, and then about pulling back on that bow and launching forward. There's a whole lot of energy behind our Sagittarius friends. Now, I will say that when you learn about different zodiac signs, they do say tacky Sag, because Sagittarius don't have a very good filter. They will talk about whatever in a way that's not necessarily considering the feelings of the audience. That's just what Sagittarius do. So if you get, there's my text from my husband. So if you get that, if you get some feedback from a Sagittarius, remember it might be sharper than the feedback from, say, a Pisces or Libra or one of the more balanced, kind of calmer signs. But it's not personal. They just talk like that. Sag are just really, really straight. They're so concerned with the truth that they don't care about the softness around it that you might be concerned about. So happy birthday to all the Sagittarius. Their lucky color is blue. The lucky stone is turquoise. The lucky day is Thursday, which is great because next Thursday is going to be very unlucky for several of us. But our Sagittarius friends are probably just going to sail through that just fine. And let's get ourselves kind of lined up so that we can sail through next Thursday just fine as well. Okay, now we're going to dig into self-care. One of the quotes that I did from Dr. Tama, love her name, one of the quotes I did from her this week was, when you feel yourself starting to walk on eggshells, it's important to pay attention. Cultivate spaces where you can stand fully and speak fully. So, cultivate spaces where you can stand fully and speak fully. That means when you do start, hunching your shoulders up when you're around somebody, when you do start, avoiding certain subjects because you don't want to have an argument, that's what you need to pay attention to. Those relationships are not, they're making an unhealthy turn. They may be healthy now, but they're making an unhealthy turn. It's kind of like when you put your hand on your baby and they're a little bit fevery, they've got a little bit of a fever, they're starting to make an unhealthy turn. We're going into an area where we need to pay attention, where we need to get our hands on and around and see what's going on. Start paying attention to all the symptoms that come along with that fever. Start paying attention to all the symptoms that come along with starting to walk on eggshells around somebody. Can y'all hear the fire engine that's going by? Start paying attention to all the symptoms that go in and around that, because you are about to set yourself up to have a mask on around somebody, or a mask on to be in a certain position. And if it's not paying you, that's probably not the best place for you to be. So you do want to pay attention when you start walking on eggshells. F eggshells. 2020, F eggshells. I don't have any eggshells for 2020. The last eggshell I'm going to have is for this last month of 2019, right? Again, if you're listening online, go to kzsm.org so you can hear this live, going across the airwaves. And then let's actually all kind of cultivate this fertile land where we can stand fully and speak fully. So sometimes we'll find an area where it's okay to stand fully. It's all right for us to be there. Women, you'll relate to me. But as soon as we start with an opinion, or as soon as we start with a free thought, all of a sudden there's a problem. All of a sudden it takes longer to get to my account, or longer to get to my issue, to my boss, right? Or longer to whatever it is that you need done. It starts taking a little bit longer because this one has an opinion. And we get labeled problem, we get labeled whatever, like obstinate, we get labeled insubordinate, all these different things because we decided to have an opinion about something. And I'm here to tell you that you are given your voice for a reason, as loud as it is. And I believe that you're here to get comfortable with adding volume to your voice. So how about we commit to each other that we're going to be 2% louder. 2% louder when we speak. Now, this is a double-edged sword. I kind of set you up because I want you to be 2% louder when you speak, but I don't want you to speak all the time. I think that for me, 2020 is a year of action. I was just speaking with the hubs about this, that I think sometimes I get caught up in talking about the thing and then not moving in the thing. We need to practice moving. I'm going to practice action speaking louder than words. So instead of averring and proclaiming all these things that I'm going to get done, I'm just going to do the stuff and see what the results are. And from there, I'll make further movements or regress, or I don't mean regress, I mean pull back. But it's about action. I'm going to be all about action here in the next couple of months and in through 2020. So if you're about that, you want to do that too, let me know. Let me know how it goes with you and what commitments you're going to make to yourself for 2020. The poem that we're going to talk about today, I think it's going to speak to everybody who's constantly on self-improvement, constantly on, hey guys, I see you, constantly on different healing and constantly kind of changing themselves. And I think that it's good and it's important and healthy to grow and to move. But I also think that there's a time and a place. Right now would be a great time and a place to accept yourself for where you are. Accept yourself for who you are. All the moms who are body shaming themselves, remember that body brought you your beautiful babies, and it was that healthy, and that's enough for it to be thanked for us to have gratitude for. And so we want to make sure that we take time to be thankful for what we have while we're still like looking to stretch and grow into different areas, right? Again, we're on kzsm.org, so you make sure you bounce over there to listen to the show. So this was, I'm not sure, it was a couple of days ago that I posted it. And I'll read through the poem, and then I think right after that, we'll talk about it for a couple of seconds, then we'll go straight into our first break. So we're gearing up for that. All right, it said, today, I asked my body what she needed, which is a big deal, considering my journey of not really asking that much. I thought she might need more water, or protein, or greens, or yoga, or supplements, or movement. But as I stood in the shower, reflecting on her stretch marks, her roundness, where I would like flatness, her softness, where I would like firmness, all those conditioned wishes. Conditioned wish, so hold on, let me start over. All those conditioned wishes that form a bundle of never quite rightness. She whispered very gently, could you just love me like this? Isn't that beautiful? I love that idea. I love that sentiment of, could you just love me like this, where I am? This is written by Holly Holden. And so let's kind of get that into our current walk today. Today's assignment is to love your body exactly how it is. If you decide to make healthy choices so that you can maintain where you are or improve where you are, that's good. But that is in addition to the steadfast point of loving your body where it is. Love the fact that you can stand if you can stand. Love the fact that you can hold things if you can hold things. Love the fact that you can smile if you're able to smile, right? Love the fact that you can laugh. And love all of the humor and beauty that is in you right now. Because there's a whole lot that's right. I know that in this capitalist society, we are constantly told to change and improve and get bigger and closer and better, and all this change that we're constantly told that we need to do. But we have a lot of strength and we have a lot of right in our bodies right now, especially the women. Be thankful for your body to bring you to this day and waking you up this early on a Saturday so you can listen to Soul Sanctuary. There's got to be some health in that, right? I hope you weren't up late last night with sick kiddos. We kind of were. But even if you were, your body was healthy enough to do that. So thank it for that. For every negative thought that pops up in your head about your body, I want you to find 3 positive things to say about it. Whether it's that you're still growing hair, whether it's that you still are able to sweat, whether it is that you're still able to walk. Find 3 positive things for every negative thought that pops in your head, and so we can start retraining ourselves to love ourselves. Because, until we get that right, it's really difficult to experience the love that comes from others. I won't say it's impossible, because I hate that saying. I won't tell you when when you can't have love. I want you to have love, and only love all the time. But it makes the experience much more rich to receive love from others when you're able to love yourself too. So if you're watching online, make sure you go to kzsm.org. We are going to slip into our first break, and I will see you guys on the other side of it. Thanks so much for listening to Soul Sanctuary. Let's go here. Yep. Hi, everybody. I'm in commercial. I've got 90 seconds. You have a question I can answer in 90 seconds? If you do, write it really, really fast. Because you've got 90 seconds, and then I'll be back on the air. Hey, Carol, she's a fellow DJ. How are you? Carol, I'm using a mic stand to hold my phone. You probably know exactly what I'm talking about. I turned it into a phone tripod. So there's a trick for you. How are you guys doing? Good morning. Where's your coffee? You got it? You drinking? We got one more commercial and we'll be bouncing right back into the show. Oh! Dropped it. Hey. All right, I'm about to adjust a little bit. There, that's better. Is that good? Good angle? All right, we're going back. Hey, we're back into the show. Thanks for waiting through the break. We got a couple more people joining us online watching the video. Again, I'll go ahead and post this on the Soul Sanctuary. We'll use the Soul Sanctuary MMF page on Facebook. So I hope that if you're not part of that, you'll go ahead and join that today. Soul Sanctuary MMF, like Mary Frank. And that's where we put stuff about the show. Sometimes the poems that I use will be there, and the different quotes from Dr. Tama and different cool things that we use to kind of get ourselves lined up and ready for whatever's coming next. For most of us, next week is a big family gathering time, and I hope that you are fortifying yourself with all of the self-love that you need to before you walk into that. Don't walk into that and, have yourself all scared around whatever weird uncle you have or whatever, strange relationship that you have with your mom. Don't let those things trigger you. You're bigger than all of those things, and we are using today to kind of set ourselves up to be ready for that stuff. So thank you, Carol. I'm getting compliments on my live feed. That's pretty great. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about self-love, like I was just saying, to make sure that you're set up to go into next week with some fortification, which you will need. By the way, if your kids are in public school, which I just learned Thursday, they'll be off all of next week. So you're going to need some self-love for that. Get to the bowling alley, get to different places to keep them distracted and off your nerves, because if you're cooking, you cannot have them crawling all over you in the kitchen, right? Save TV time for when you have to cook. Outside of that, engage, puzzle, Scrabble, get active with them so that, the days don't draw out long like a blade, like they were talking about on, what is that show? Shawshank Redemption. Try to stretch the days out, get some good space in between there. So we're going to look at, from mindbodygreen.com, some self-care, some self-love that we can kind of implement right now to make sure that we are ready for whatever demons exist at that family dinner that we'll have to face. If you have a lovely family dinner and you have a lovely family Thanksgiving kind of experience, good for you. That is fantastic. Most of the people that sit down for readings with me, it is at least challenging. So we'll say that's kind of what people are looking forward to for next week. So before we go, here between now and Thursday, I want you to try at least 2 of the things on this list, okay? So the first one is to create self-love ritual. And this can include turning off the TV, unplugging from social media for 15 minutes to get centered while you're self-pampering. Just 15 minutes. Can you turn off all the screens and allow some peace and quiet for your subconscious to come forward and speak to you for 15 minutes? 15 minutes is 1/4 of the length of the show. One of the segments is 15 minutes. Is that possible? Can you carve out that time for yourself? Because remember, when your spirit came down here to this planet for this lifetime, it was not to be irritated for 80 years and then die, right? That's not what it was for. And sometimes it's best, outside of tarot and outside of Reiki and outside of therapy and outside of anything else, to sit quietly with yourself and allow your inner voice to come out and tell you what you need to know right now, tell you what you need to be focused on right now. It's great to have tools like tarot and to have tools like Reiki and friends and family that love you to help you kind of hone that. But remember that you have access to a wealth of information about you and about where your energy should be focused inside your little head. Promise that you do. And this is suggesting that you create about 15 minutes of time to spend with yourself. And here the suggestion is to moisturize your skin with intention. Like as you massage your feet, thank them for getting you where you need to go. As you moisturize your hands, love them for all the transitions and introductions they're helping you with throughout life. And stop taking your body and life for granted. Stop taking your body and life for granted is such a good place to kind of live from. After having my cancer scare earlier this year, I'll tell you what, I'm not going to take my body for granted anymore, because somehow, miraculously, going through that testing and going through that really hard time, I came out the other side okay. My body's healthy enough to not have that, and I'm so thankful. And I'll continue to try to make choices that make it a place that's healthy and where health can be and can grow. So creating a self-love ritual. What will you put in your self-love ritual? Will you go to Soul Sanctuary MMF and tell me there, or if you're watching me on video, tell me what you're going to do for your self-love ritual? Just one thing. Is it going to be a certain type of tea you're going to have, starting a green drink once a week? What are you going to do for your self-love ritual? What feels like self-love to you? What feels like peace and, fortifying the love that you have for yourself? And if you don't have a whole lot of it, how do you create it? What would help you love you? And put that into your self-love ritual and let me know about it. Okay, so then we have build a precious community. Now, what is a precious community? Let's see what it says. Support and love from other people around you to stay motivated and on track. So support and love from other people around you to stay motivated and on track. Research shows that positive energy is contagious. So when you're around people who have positive energy, you get to benefit from that as well. And that's so important. Now, there's a report that actually came out about how being around complainers actually affects your biology and makes you sicker, is to be around people who complain all the time. I definitely believe that. We know that negativity is heavier than positivity. So whenever you're in a bout with someone who's negative, positivity doesn't have a chance to win. Negativity is heavier. So in those instances, it's best to get out, like the movie. Get out when you have someone who's just constantly negative and constantly finding the cloud for every silver lining. I'm sorry that they're having a rough time. Offer them your love and your support, from over here. Don't have to do it right next to them. You don't have to be in their face with it. You can offer them love and support from over here. And give them a gift certificate to get a tarot reading. I can help a little bit. But still, they come to my table with all that negativity. We're going to talk about where positivity lives and how to get over to where some health is. Because just stirring that poopy pot is not helpful for anybody. It really isn't. There's not a time where that's going to get you to health. You don't get there through swallowing disease, right? So the third thing that this suggests is make a what's working for me list. How cool is that? You know, I'm all into lists. Before I met my husband, I made my him list. I was very petty on my him list, and he came out just as beautiful as I told him to on my him list. So we're all about him lists or her lists or whoever you're into lists. And this is talking about make a what's working for me list. So you look around your life and you take kind of a, you start to list out pros and cons, what is working for you. What's working for you right now? What's bringing you peace, truth, and health in your life, and make that on a list. You should have at least, well, I won't say the number of things, because my poor Virgos and Capricorns will use that to bash themselves, and I don't want to do that. So at least one, how about that? At least one thing on your list that is working for you. What is doing well? Is your hair especially bouncy? Mine's huge today. I have the biggest hair today. I look like a dandelion, and I am here for it. But what's working for you? Make a list of what's working for you. And a good thing is to put that list where you can see it, where negativity has a tendency to pop up. Maybe on a mirror, maybe on the fridge, maybe on your dashboard. But the list of what's working for me. And once you see it on paper and accept all the positivity in your life, it will make it much easier for you to love yourself. So this is kind of like what's greasing the runway for us to get to self-love. We're going to do it through what we're actually doing that's already working for us by default. Next, we're going to know that your body is a loving vessel. Your body is a loving vessel. And that will boost your self-love. Be intentional about what you put into your body. Because it's not just about feeling good, it's about looking good too. So be intentional about what you feed yourself, and feed yourself nutrient-rich foods, right? Make sure that you give yourself food that is going to fuel you. I mean, French fries are really good. They're delicious. There is nothing nutritional in a French fry. I've never read a diet where a French fry was. And so if that's all you're eating 24 hours a day, know that there's not a whole lot of health in there. And is that what the information you want to communicate to your inner self and to the universe or to God, that all that you want is the fluffy fat? Is that all you want? Or do you want more than that? You know, if you do get faced with a health challenge, do you want to say, well, you know, I've been taking care of myself, so whatever the result is the best it could be? Right, because I've been moving my body so much, because I have been giving myself dark greens and dark leafy greens, right? And because I have been avoiding fat where it was a choice and getting off of sugar. I'm convinced that sugar is just poison, and I don't know why it's in our diets at all. But have you, done your work to get away from that and pull back from pouring just sugar and honey and syrup and high fructose corn syrup? Have you pulled yourself away from that? And if you can, and then know that your body is a loving vessel, that's going to allow you the ability to love yourself even more. Clean out your closet. All right, y'all. Don't get mad at me. It's a good season for sloughing. We're going to slough, right? Clean out your closet. This may be more therapeutic than you think. Clean out your closet will help you not only clean your room up, but it'll positively affect your mind. You get rid of old things, and it'll make room for new things in your life. Cleansing your mind can sometimes work in the form of letting go of clothes, shoes, jewelry, etc. And it's a really good time of year for that. It's a good time of year to let go of those things that aren't working for you anymore, that aren't holding you together anymore, that aren't offering you positivity, right? And that are no longer contributing to your life being great. You want to be great. Get rid of stuff that doesn't work for you anymore. How long are you going to hold on to that broken necklace? Either put it in the shop to get fixed, or, recycle it. Give it somewhere where they can recycle and do something with it. But holding on to the broken pieces, I think, contributes to the idea that you're only worthy of broken pieces. But if you get that thing fixed, or if you get rid of it so that you have space for something new that works, I believe that's a way of honoring who you are, where you are, what you have to contribute, and kind of making it new and fresh. I was just thinking I got distracted because I was thinking about the idea of our favorite stars. Like, we think about our favorite celebrities. They're the ones that have changed their look and have changed kind of their persona, right? Prince and Madonna. Michael Jackson did it a little bit. But you think about those stars that kept our attention for decades and decades and decades. Rush, right? Who've just been famous for decades. It's because they changed their looks. They had on bell-bottoms when bell-bottoms were hot. Or actually, they made bell-bottoms hot. And then they moved along and made something else hot. David Bowie, right? He moved along and made androgyny hot. And Prince jumped on that and kept that train going. But it's about, like, moving, that freshness. And you can't have that fresh vitality and movement if you're holding on to just the old stuff. You have to have space for new stuff. So I love the idea of cleaning out your closet. And I like the idea of makeovers, too. Just trying out different looks, right? Go more into your gothness. Go more into your geekness. Go more into anything else. So that you can try all the different flavors that could be you. Like, if you ran into your doppelganger in New York, what would they look like? Dress like that for a week and see if you like it. Try it out. I'd so much rather find success through trying different things than staying exactly still so that you don't upset anybody and so that you don't make any ripples. I don't think that's where life is. Okay, we've got one more break to slide into, guys. I'm going to see you on the other side of it. I hope that you're enjoying Soul Sanctuary. If you're watching online, please go to www.kzsm.org. That's where the show is live. Here we go. Ooh. Woo. 2 segments down. Hi, everybody. We've got like 3 commercials to go. And then I'll be back on... Whew, my goodness. 1, 2, 3, 1. Hi! Ask questions if you want to. I'll try to answer them. I didn't get to last time, but I might this time. I think there's a delay, like when you put in the commercial versus when you put in the comment versus when I get to see it. But if I see it in time, I promise I'll answer. We've got a couple more of this self-love to get through, and then talk about family. This is our last commercial. If you want your own radio show, you can have it. Go to kzsm.org, and if you contact the station manager and tell them the idea for a show, you can have your own show. Be up here with me. You don't have to be up at 8 o'clock in the morning on Saturday, but you can be on the air. You get the training and everything. So it's really cool. I hope that if you have a voice and you want to use it, that you go to kzsm.org and come down to the studio. I think there's one more commercial after this. Was that 2 or 3? We're gonna call it 2. Do another one in a minute. Hi everybody. Say hey. Send me a heart so I can see you. It's hard for me to see you when you do. Oh, that's it. Hey, that was a very short commercial. I think that was like 8 seconds or something. I was expecting it to be 30. Anyway, hi everybody, we're back. We are in the middle of a list about self-love and kind of cultivating some self-love for ourselves so we are fortified and reinforced and enhanced and empowered when we go into that long dinner next week with people that hopefully there's at least 2 or 3 of them at the table that you like. And we can focus on them and stay away from the creepy, weird ones that we don't like, right? Okay, so we are about halfway through this list about what we're going to do to cultivate self-love is what we're talking about today. And then we're going to do a little bit of, hi, Thunderbird! That's one of my little ones who's watching. We're going to do a little bit of talk about family versus friends, but most important is your experience walking through this life. And so most important is what we're going to focus on today. We are on no more comparisons. We've all done it. Browse through social media only to see our favorite media personalities in the middle of a photo shoot of their new books after they've just had surgery, right? And awesome shopping sprees and stuff. And we're like, what? I know it's hard not to compare yourself to those things, but you got to remember that Facebook is people's highlight reel. You cannot compare somebody's highlight reel to your Tuesday morning when you're rushing around and shoving the kids in the car. That's not fair. Your highlight reel wouldn't probably have a Tuesday morning on it either, unless you're like a home organization kind of expert kind of thing. But don't compare your everyday boring days to someone's highlight reel. Yeah, there's people who are vacationing in the south of France. I mean, that's happening. And you vacation too. But what people post is not necessarily who they are. There was a meme that said something like, not everybody is who they post to be. And it's true. I know people who post about how happy and fantastic their relationships are. Meanwhile, the most treacherous goings-on are happening under the surface. And so remember, try not to compare your everyday life to someone else's highlight reel. So no more comparisons is a form of self-love. Explore your spirituality. How cool is that? You know, I'm all about explore your spirituality. Had I not done that, I wouldn't have found tarot and some of the more new agey witchy stuff that I'm into. You don't necessarily have to follow me and be over here doing that, but find a spirituality that works for you. If it's deeper into whatever you were raised with, that's cool. If it's different from that, that's cool too. One of the newer ones I'm looking into is Yoruba, that has the Orisha, which is a whole pantheon of brown deities, and I am all about it. I'm so excited to share brown deities with my little brown boys, and I think that's such a healthier kind of way to set yourself up, instead of them looking at deities that don't have anything to do with them, that don't look anything like them, and don't behave like they do. So find whatever matches with you. Be a little bit brave with looking at things that maybe belief systems that are set up a little bit differently than yours are. You might find empowered in that. And figure out whether or not a belief system works for you or not. You don't necessarily have to have one. This is part of the self-love that this is talking about, is explore your spirituality. Take a journey into learning things about yourself. There's new thoughts and feelings and passions and raw emotions that'll make you appreciate yourself for being authentically you. And that's the whole point. If you can get to where you're appreciating yourself, that's where you want to go and live, because that's what we want to show these kiddos, right? We don't want to show them self-loathing. We don't want to show them abuse. We don't want to show them overindulgence or escapism. We don't want to show them how we can numb out with weed or food or sex or whatever. We want to show them how to love themselves, even in those tough times. And the cool thing is that in order to show them that, we get to learn some of that. And one of the ways we can do that is to explore your spirituality. Next, do something that you're good at. So there's a difference between talent and what you enjoy. Sometimes you're talented at something that you don't really enjoy that much. And sometimes you enjoy something that you're not really great at. This particular statement is asking that you do something that you're good at. So something that you naturally do really great, spend some time doing it. Decide that next Wednesday you're going to spend an hour drawing if you're great at drawing, or singing if you're great at singing, or dancing, or setting up creative things for the kids. Whatever you do that naturally comes to you, that you're just talented at, do something that you're good at, because that reinforces to you that, hey, there's things that I just naturally do really well, and when I do them, for some reason, it's just 70% better than anybody else who's really trying. I don't even have to try it, that thing. And doing that gives you reasons and fortifies your loving yourself, getting yourself where you need to be. And again, this is all about getting ourselves in a nice, strong place so that when we go in to start engaging with those family members that make us feel like the baby of the family again, or make us feel like the black sheep of the family again, or whatever triggers that they have for you, we're going to go in stronger than our triggers. We're going to go in bigger than their presence, because we already are bigger than their presence. We're the star of this show. They're all just walk-ons. We're the star. And that's where we want to make sure we focus. If you're watching online, make sure you go on kzsm.org. That's where you can hear the show as well. Then find a happy place. Think of a place that makes it simple to just be. That means being able to sit quietly and embrace the here and now, not thinking about what's due at work or what bills need to be paid. You owe this happy place to yourself. Self-love is all about connecting with yourself. And one of the easiest places to do that is your happy place. Where's your happy place? For mommies, I think for all mommies, at least, and daddies, for one, at least part of raising your children, happy place is in the bathroom with the door locked. You don't have to see the kids for at least 5 minutes so that you can allow yourself to complete a thought without thinking about who needs to be wiped or fed or changed. And I think that for mental health, it's very important that you get yourself there. Now, here is the last and one of the most important self-love tips that we can look at. And this is build your letting go muscle. Build your letting go muscle. When I do readings, the death card comes up. Everybody's scared of it. And maybe they should be, but not the reasons that you think. The death card is about letting go. It's about trying to weekend at Bernie's stuff that is already dead, things that no longer serve you, things that should not be in your life anymore. And if you're spending time animating those things, breathing life into it, pouring blood on rocks, that's a waste of energy. The universe and God and your subconscious and everybody's gotten together and already told you this is no longer for you. But because of your fear of the unknown, you're holding on to this thing, and it's not healthy. And so building your letting go muscles. Let's see what they say about it. They say, we're constantly holding on to things in our past, and it can tend to weigh heavy on our souls and even give us low self-esteem. The more blocks we clear, the more we can really live big in the area of self-love. Although we may do this to protect ourselves from hurting, it's really only holding us back from moving forward and reaching optimal self-acceptance and loving who we are. Let go. So we've got 1 month left in this year, and let's decide what we are not taking into 2020 with us. I would love to know what yours are. Write me and tell me, please. I would love to know. But what are you not taking into 2020? What have you had since 2009 that is no longer welcome in 2020? Let me know, and I would love to talk to you about it and see what method you're going to use to let go. But how do you build your letting go muscle? I think that the way you build any muscle is you start with little weights, right? So let's start with letting go of little things. What little things can we let go of? Maybe it's not taking a doggy bag when you're eating something really bad for you. Just whatever you don't finish in that sitting, let it go onto the trash. Let go of that. It's a small thing for some people, but for those of us struggling with scarcity complexes, that's a big deal. To not get a doggy bag, that's a big deal, and not carry it with us and not promise ourselves we're going to eat it later. And so if you have a scarcity thing, maybe your practicing letting go is going to start with just leaving stuff on your plate, right? Maybe it's going to start with not calling back that irritating person that you don't really get along with, but you've been spending time with to kind of get away from your loneliness. Hey, how about that? That's either big or little depending on your psyche. It depends. How about that? How about letting go of dogmatic beliefs, right? Why don't you go back to a couple of suggestions ago and explore spirituality? Maybe letting go is of those things that you haven't agreed with for years that you still have around you. I always say if you start with the low-hanging fruit and you start dealing with low-hanging fruit, you won't have to deal with everything because some things are kind of taken care of by inertia. So what do you see that you can let go of very easily? Just let go of it. Go 2 weeks without it. Maybe it's not Facebook. Maybe your whole social interaction exists on this platform. And if that's the case, then don't let that be the first thing that you let go. Let go of something else. You can also make it so that, when you have the little notification bell, they only look at that when it's 5 or more. Don't every time it has 1, go get it. That's addictive, that kind of behavior. Wait till it builds up to 5 and then check it out. Do things like that. Stretch out, like cessation, like you do when you're quitting smoking. You put more and more space between the cigarettes. Put more and more space between the interactions. More and more space between checking out what's going on. Be okay with not knowing right away what's happening, right? And then that can help you to build your letting go muscles. Building your letting go muscles. I love the idea of that. It just sounds like something that absolutely everybody that I know could benefit from. So let's jump into our last break. And then after that, we'll talk a little bit more. And then I'm going to go down to the farmer's market and do readings from 9 to 1. So if you're in the area, while we go into this last break in the last section of Soul Sanctuary, get yourself together, scrub the funk off, or at least cover it with deodorant, and get yourself down to the farmer's market so you can hang out with me and all the people down there. I'll see you on the other side of the break. Hi, friends. Thank you for everybody who stayed the whole show. I'm happy to see you guys. Ask stuff. Can you ask questions? I'm going to wave at everybody I can see that's here right now. Wave, 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 wave. Hi. I'm so glad you joined me. Good morning. What are you doing up this early? Are you chasing kids? Are you eating? You having coffee? Watching my goofy self? Hi, Jackie. Hi, guys. You gotta come down to the farmer's market? I'll be there very, very soon. About 10 minutes after I get off the air. So come down, hang out, get a reading. It's supposed to go up to 72 today. Yay! We are all about it. I'm so glad y'all joined me. Hey, if this is a good thing, I can do it next time too. I can just start doing my shows live like this, right? Why not? I mean, as long as I'm dressed. Sometimes I have on a scarf and Sister Girl's not pulled together, and I'm not doing that on I'm not doing that on Facebook. We're gonna let Alanis land us softly into our last segment. She's talking about what's ironic, which is cool because I think it's ironic that we go into Thanksgiving with all these ideas and Griswoldian fantasies, and it never works out that way. I've had one fantastic Thanksgiving, and that was with my niece and my husband and my sons since I've lived here, and that's been 12 years. There's been one that was amazing. 1 in 12 is not a good stat. It's not good. So, I'm going to bring Alanis down in about 1 minute, and we will go into what Khalil Gibran says about family. Ooh. Just about to get started again. Hi, friends. Hi, everybody joining. Hi, friends. Hi. Wave, wave, wave. If I waved at you twice, I'm sorry. Good morning, Lovin. It's great to see you. Hi, Stefan. Or Steven, sorry. Hi, Brandy. Hi, Lynn. Hi, Lavinia. Lavinia is the most important sounding name. What movie was there a Lavinia in? Was it Yaya Sisterhood, I think? Hi, Kendra. That's my cousin. Hi, Alicia. She's my favorite person I worked with. Hey, Rachel. Hey, Morena. Hey, Gina. Hey, everybody. Okay. I feel like the romper room lady. She's like, I see Lovin and Jackie and Gina and Morena. Is this too much energy for the morning? This is a cup of coffee. I'm telling you, get your coffee in. If you ain't had it, get your coffee in. Go find Lovin's Spirit. Get some of her natural soap. Get yourself cleaned right. She'll tell you all about that. Family. There's only 45 seconds left of this song, and then I'm going to get in and talk a little bit more, and then I'm going down to the farmer's market. So come down if you're in the area. I'd love to see you. You know, if you come before 10, it's a discount. So, if you can get there, like, now-ish, make it down here. Okay. I need more promos. Right here. And here. Hey! Good to see you too. Here we go. So we are going to bring this horse into the stable, or this plane into the tarmac. I don't know. Whatever would make that analogy work. I'm really bad at analogies. I don't know if you've noticed that. But I usually mix them up. Maybe it's funny and endearing. Maybe it's just irritating. I don't know. It probably depends on the day. But I'm really glad that you guys are here with me on Soul Sanctuary. And we've been talking about different ways to get our self-love together so that we're ready to go into our dinners next week. And the different kind of activities we'll have with our family next week, and do that in a loving way and not be offended by everybody with their tackiness or their terribleness or their narcissism or whatever else you have to deal with when you're with your family next week for Thanksgiving. If you're watching online, please make sure you go to kzsm.org and listen to the show live. There's encores really early in the morning on Wednesday and Thursday. But we're here every Saturday, 8 a.m., for Soul Sanctuary, and also join the page Soul Sanctuary MMF that is on Facebook. If you're interested in getting a reading, a personal tarot reading, you can go to HaiTarot.com. That's HaiTarot.com. I'm also HaiTarot on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. I'm most active on Instagram, I believe. So that's where you can find me, where you can find readings. I am going to do a little bit of talking about family itself, because the next week comes up, and a lot of people have one of the biggest opportunities all year to be in and around family, especially and that book has a lot of really beautiful talks about different aspects of life. And he did talk about family. So I'm going to read a little bit about what he says about family, and then let's you and I discuss what we agree with and how does that find us, and if we are on the same page with him as far as family is concerned. So from the Prophet, Khalil Gibran says, "Your family is your needs answered. Family is your field from which you sow with love and reap with thanksgiving. When your family speaks their mind, you fear not the nay in your own mind, nor do you withhold the a. For without words, in family, all thoughts, all desires, all expectations are born and shaped with joy that is unacclaimed." So it's a lot of praise given to, honor given to the idea of family. And there is something to be said for the family that you were born into. There's a reason why you were born into the family you were. Just like there's a reason you were born on the day that you were. That has to do with like astrology and your zodiac and that kind of thing. There's a reason you were born the day that you were born. And there's a reason that you were born to the people that you were born to. Sometimes that reason is to learn how to deal with that type of personality. Sometimes that reason is to learn when to let go and to stop putting your good energy into that which is negative. And to do that with family members, I think, is one of the hardest things, if you were raised in a typical family, that you can possibly do. To look at the person who gave birth to you or contributed to your birth and say, no thanks. It's hard. It's a difficult thing to do. And to look at them and embrace them in all of their human inequity is also really difficult. So no matter whether you choose to be with them and embrace them or let go of them and not embrace them, there's not an easy choice. It's like I hate to bring a political topic, but it's like being pregnant. If you decide to have the baby or not, neither one is an easy choice. Nobody goes skipping down to the clinic with snow cones and freaking candy canes, and and it's neither one is an easy choice. It's not easy to do it. And while we're deciding whether or not we're going to put ourselves through whatever it is mentally that you go through in order to spend the day with people who are related to you, neither is an easy choice. And so what do? If you have, a difficult choice on the left and a difficult choice on the right, which one do you go with? And the answer is the one that resonates with your spirit best. And the way to figure that out is quiet your mind, quiet yourself, empty of all thoughts, and let the answer bubble up to you. And it will. Now, the difference may be 49, 51. There might not be a huge difference of which one is better for you, but there is a difference. Hi, Simone. There is a difference. And you can detect that by listening to your subconscious and the way you hear it. If you can't figure out how to do that, give me a call, get a reading. I'll let the cards tell us. But there is an answer that works best for you. And remember, best may be a fraction, but it is best for you. And the best we can do this lifetime is to do what's best for us over and over again, because that way, whether it works out, quote unquote, or not, we can stand behind our choice because it's what resonated with our integrity. So I hope with the choices that you make this upcoming week, that you find things that do line up with your integrity, so that when you go to defend it, which you do not have to do, but if you go to defend it, you can do it from a place of strength. Also, as I was just implicating, you don't have to explain anything to anybody, right? You take your husband and your babies wherever you're comfortable, or your wife and your kiddos wherever you're comfortable, or your new wife and nobody wherever you want to go. So, work that out. Be happy. Be blessed. This holiday, it's called a holiday, and we won't talk about the origins of it because that brings up that's a whole other show. But the way we celebrate it now is to be around people who love us and feel like sunshine to us. So find them and eat with them and make them your macaroni and cheese. If you decide not to do that, fortify yourself with self-love and your kids with the ability to not hug uncles and aunties they don't want to. Do it in the cleanest, safest way that you can. I bid you peace, and I hope that you have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Please write me and tell me how it goes. If you just want to write me and go, I'll understand screaming, being in the midst of craziness. Take a minute to read the poem my dad always suggests, which is called Invictus. And it's all about keeping your head cool while everybody else around you is going crazy. So I hope that you'll find pleasure in that too. I love all of you, and I'm so glad to be back here. You can probably tell by how fast I've been talking this whole show. I'm so excited to be back. I missed 2 whole weeks of Soul Sanctuary. I'll be here next week, and hopefully between now and then you will join Soul Sanctuary MMF on Facebook, so that you can be aware when we go back online, and also listen to me on kzsm.org. That's where we'll be next Saturday. Peace and love, everybody. Enjoy your Saturday and enjoy your Thanksgiving. Bye, y'all. I gotta go get ready for market. So if you're here, come down and see me. Lots of love, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.